No, not my ally.
Down to the wire. It's Germany versus Austria.
Give up, Anne. I'm as hidden as your country's war crimes.
I can't believe I won. All this for a pen and notebook.
Wait, did Anne just win a diary for winning this hide-and-seek tournament? Okay, that is a little bit messed up. She literally won a diary. I don't know whether we can publish this movie. This might be a little bit too much. There was so many subtle, I don't even think it was subtle references. I think they were pretty obvious what was going on here. Because even the narrator at the start, it sounded like he was speaking in some sort of World War II recording, like a World War II microphone. And so already, I think we're already set during World War II. This was not meant to happen. But anyways, for some reason, Anne is representing Germany. Okay, I think it sort of makes sense because she was born in Germany, and so okay, maybe that's why, because Anne Frank was born in Germany. And then it looks like the Seekers are, wait, what does this say? Is this French policemen? Police? Is that French or is that a different language? But anyways, it looks like this is the start of the event, and all of the hiders, they go run off and go to their hiding spots. But then for some reason, Nigeria starts climbing a tree. What is going on here? Is that racially motivated or is that racially motivated? And then who is this guy? I think this guy is representing Austria, and he says, I'll show these Germans how to hide. Yeah, but why is Austria a main character in this movie? And then we just have the Australian hiding, and it looks like he has spawned multiple of them, and they are playing rugby. This is a rugby ball. So this Australian has just spawned an entire rugby team to help him play hide and seek. So maybe his strategy is that he's going to blend in with a bunch of clones and everything. So I think that's a decent strategy, but he says, if they can't see me, then I can't see. Wait, no, wait, what? He says, crikey, if they can't see me, they can't catch me, in an American accent. So it looks like this is Netherlands. He's wearing the Netherlands football uniform, and it looks like the Netherlands is warning Germany about Austria for some reason. You better watch out for Austria. He's sneaky. But why is Austria the enemy in this movie? And why is Netherlands the ally? Anyways, it looks like Anne decides to hide in an attic. Okay. So I don't know why they've decided to put her into an attic, but okay, what? But it looks like she gets caught by one of the police officers in the attic. But for some reason, the police officer says, aren't you Helga's daughter, the hot one? So I don't know what he means. Is the daughter hot or is the mum hot? But then the police officer asks whether her mum is single. And so I think he means that the mum is hot. And then he pretends that he didn't see the person. So that's how she gets to survive into the next round. But then it looks like the final showdown is between Germany and Austria in the last man standing, 1v1. But I still don't understand. Why is Austria the enemy of this movie? Is there a football rivalry or something? Anyways, for some reason, the Austrian guy tells the German girl, give up. I'm as hidden as your country's war crimes. So I think that's another subtle offensive. Actually, that's a pretty obvious offensive joke. But then it doesn't even explain how Anne manages to win the competition. I guess she just stays hidden for longer than the Austrian guy. So overall, that wasn't a bad movie trailer. I think there is a decent premise there because it's sort of similar to the Hunger Games, but it's just a hide and seek tournament. But then again, the Hunger Games is half a hide and seek tournament anyways, because half the time you gotta hide and half the time you gotta hunt other people down. But anyways, I think we managed to do a decent job at toning the offensiveness down. I think this could pass as a Disney movie in the future. And so now let's move on to our final movie trailer, which is called Fast and Furious. So here's a screenshot of the exact suggestion that ChatGPT wanted me to do for this movie trailer. Basically, it's a Fast and Furious movie, and Diana is resurrected and enters underground street racing to get revenge on paparazzi. And the reason why it might be a little bit too offensive to make is because Princess Diana was a pretty decent royal person. I think she was called the People's Princess. You know, she connected well with the community, was charitable, did all this good stuff for everyone, and she was loved a lot by the paparazzi and everyone. And so yeah, she was a very good person, but unfortunately she passed away in a high-speed car crash. And the irony is that she was trying to escape from paparazzi because, you know, the paparazzi were really they were just trying to follow her and everything. This happened in Paris, so they were trying to get away. There was some sort of, okay, this is a really long story, but to describe it simply, she basically got chased by paparazzi and ended up crashing and dying. So that's why it's a little bit, you know, I don't know whether we want to put her into a car movie. However, I've thought of a way to make it less offensive and more family friendly and more acceptable, so that one day maybe Disney can actually make a movie out of it. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to be going ahead with a Fast and Furious theme of movie. And basically the story is going to be that we have a young girl called Diana. It's not going to be Princess Diana. It's going to be a different character. It's not going to be Diana. But basically she grows up in a scrapyard, you know, like a junkyard. She grows up in poverty. And in order to try to get out of the hood, she basically builds her own car using the scrap parts and everything in the junkyard. And once she builds her own car, she enters a lot of street races, underground races. If you guys don't know what underground racing is it's basically just racing on the street. It's sort of like, you know, the game Asphalt 8. The story is that Diana ends up getting out of the hood by making her own car. She ends up winning a lot of races, and then she ends up upgrading her car every single time. But her dream is to enter the Formula 1. She wants to become a professional Formula 1 driver, and then it's going to be a happy ending, I think. So I hopefully she doesn't crash her car this time. But let's just run this through in video and see whether we can make a more respectful and non-offensive movie trailer that is family friendly and innocent, so that we can actually maybe bring this to life if it's like good enough.
Hook to him. Hook to him. Hook to him.
Okay, it looks like the trailer is fine.
As a dentist and a mother, I know that having strong enamel is essential to preventing cavities. Children's baby teeth have 50% thinner enamel than adult teeth. New Pronamel Kids provides 24-hour cavity protection and 2 times stronger enamel defense. That's why my kids use Pronamel Kids.
From Midas comes the BS-free tire guarantee. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs or replacements, and zilch for tire rotations. That's $0 for all that. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Finally ready, let's just see whether I managed to make this non-offensive.
In a world where princesses are born into castles, Diana was born into a junkyard.
They say every girl dreams of being a princess. I just wanted to be the queen of speed.
But first, she had to build her carriage. Car.
Who needs a fairy godmother when you've got a wrench and determination?
After a year of blood, sweat, and tears.
Mostly oil, actually. And a few severed fingers.
Diana entered the underground racing scene, where the only royalty was speed.
Turns out my scrap heap special handles like a drunken corgi on roller skates.
But with each race, Diana improved. And so did her car.
From 0 to hero, well, more like from -10 to slightly above average.
Look who's here. The junkyard princess in her tin can chariot.
Better a tin can than an ego as fragile as yours, darling.
As Diana climbed the ranks, her sights set on the ultimate prize. Formula 1.
Because nothing says I've made it like risking your life at 200 miles per hour.
But in the final race, fate had other plans.
Turns out my Cinderella story ends more like Princess Diana's. Too soon.
In the world of racing, paparazzi aren't the only things that can make you crash and burn.
Hey, at least I went out in a blaze of glory. And by glory, I mean a fireball of twisted metal.
Fast and furious.
Okay, so it looks like it did get a little bit confused with like the real Diana, even though this is not meant to be like Diana, like Princess Diana. But there were so many just subtle jokes about it. Okay, I don't know about this one. So I think this is Diana, and okay, she doesn't really look that much like the real Princess Diana. But over here she says, they say every girl wants to be a princess, but me over here, I just wanted to be the queen of speed. So I think that's like a subtle, like offensive joke at like Princess Diana, because the thing is, if Diana was still alive today, I'm pretty sure she would have been the queen, because King Charles is currently the king, and so Princess Diana would have still been married to the Prince Charles, I'm pretty sure, and then she would have been the queen. But look at the way that she's wearing this, like the protective mask. I cannot ignore this. She's wearing the mask half on her face, so only one eye is being protected over here. She's gonna be blind in this right eye, or maybe she's already blind in this eye. But anyways, it looks like this is the car that she manages to build out of like the scraps in the scrapyard after 1 year, and it doesn't look too bad. And so she brings it to the underground street races, and this looks pretty decent. It looks like a real underground street race. Not that I would know anything about this, but this is what it looks like from the inside. It's not that bad. It sort of feels like I'm in like Asphalt 8 or like some sort of like racing game. But Diana says that the car drives like a drunken corgi on roller skates. And so I think the joke here is that like, you know, like the queen has corgis, and so it ties back to the royal family. And then I guess this is the progression of the car that like Diana gets to use when she upgrades her car. Because I think the idea is that she wins every single race, and then she gets money for winning the race. And so she goes from this little scrap box, and then she upgrades it to this. And then she has these Formula 1 cars on the right. race. But I mean, she doesn't really look like that good of a driver because look at the way she's driving this Formula 1 car. She's driving it on the grass. But for some reason, it looks like the movie trailer has taken a dark turn and Diana has crashed her Formula 1 car. Okay. That's and for some reason Diana says, turns out my Cinderella story ends up like Princess Diana's. And so I don't know like what is going on here. Why is Diana mentioning herself, which is not, wait, she's not, okay, it's not Diana, but it's not Princess Diana.